They have trekked thousands of miles across the state seeking the support of Iowa Democrats. Their views are as diverse as their party, but they are unified in their quest to take back the White House. Today, the candidates will confront the issues that are important to their party, to Iowa, and to the nation. From the studios of Iowa Public Television, this is the Des Moines Register presidential debate. The Democrats.
Hello, I'm Carolyn Washburn, editor of the Des Moines Register, and welcome to day 2 of our Des Moines Register debates. Today we're going to talk with 6 Democratic candidates for President of the United States. These candidates have spent a lot of time together on stage in debates and forums. They have spent months in Iowa, and Iowans have had a lot of opportunity to ask them questions and look them in the eye. Still, half Iowa Democrats who say they're likely to caucus also say they may still change their minds. So as we wrestle our way down to these last 21 days, we looked at the issues not getting a lot of attention and issues Iowans said they wanted to know more about. And that is where we're going to focus most of our time today. First, let's welcome our candidates. Senator Barack Obama of Illinois. Senator Joe Biden of Delaware. Governor Bill Richardson of New Mexico, Senator Christopher Dodd of Connecticut, former Senator John Edwards of North Carolina, and Senator Hillary Clinton of New York. Thank you all for being here today. The rules are simple. I'll ask the questions and let you know how much time you have to answer. There are timing lights. You'll see a yellow light when you have 10 seconds left, and the red light means it's time to stop. I'll try not to be a Scrooge about it since it's the season, but I will ask you to respect the time so we don't have to shorten up answers down the line and there's plenty of time for conversation. We have lots of candidates and lots of ground to cover. I will offer up to 30 seconds of rebuttal time to any candidate criticized by name, and I'll include other candidates who indicate they want to jump in as long as we have time. We'll explain everything else as we go along, so let's get to it. We're going to start with a discussion about the financial situation facing our country, the single biggest issue Iowans of both parties said they wanted you to talk more about. Would it be a priority of your administration to balance the federal budget every year? If yes, how? If no, why not? Senator Obama, I'd like you to start us off. You'll have 1 minute.
Over the last 7 years, what we've seen is an economy that's out of balance. Because of the policies of George Bush and the Republicans in Congress, not only do we have fiscal problems, but we've got growing inequality. And so people are working harder for less, and they're seeing costs from everything from college education to health care to gas at the pump go up. So what I want to do is get the long-term fundamentals right. That means that we are investing in education, we're investing in infrastructure, we're getting our trade deals structured so that they're fair, and that we are also ending the war in Iraq, where we're spending $10 to $12 billion a month. That is money that can be applied back here at home for critical issues. Now, the fact is that we're not going to be able to do this unless we're able to overcome some of the special interests that have clogged up the system and created trillions of dollars worth of tax loopholes and tax breaks. We need to put those tax breaks and tax loopholes back into the pockets of hard-working Americans.
And so, just so I'm clear, a priority to balance the federal budget, or not necessarily?
We are not going to be able to dig ourselves out of that hole in 1 or 2 years. But if we can get on a path of sustained growth, if we can end the war in Iraq, end some of the special interest loopholes and earmarks that have been clogging up the system, then I think we can return to a path of a balanced budget.
Senator Edwards, we have 30 seconds for these rebuttals.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, first of all, what we have to do is get rid of the structural deficiencies in the American economy. And we have to create jobs, protect American jobs. We have to strengthen and grow the middle class, which is struggling mightily in this country today. And one of the reasons that we've lost jobs, we're having trouble creating jobs, we're having trouble growing and strengthening the middle class, is because corporate power and greed have literally taken over the government. And we need a president who's willing to take these powers on. It is the only way we're going to strengthen and grow the middle class, have universal health care, have a trade policy that actually works for American workers, have a tax policy that's not favoring big multinational corporations, but instead favors the middle class and working people.
Well, fiscal responsibility is a very high priority for me. We don't have to go back very far in our history, in fact, just to the 1990s, to see what happens when we do have a fiscally responsible budget that does use rules of discipline to make sure that we're not cutting taxes or spending more than we can afford. I will institute those very same approaches. You can't do it in a year. It'll take time. But the economy will grow again when we start acting fiscally responsible. And then we can save money in the government by cutting out private contractors, closing loopholes, getting the healthcare system to be more efficient. We'll do all of this at the same time, but the results will take a while for us to actually see.